Uh, Let us now look at a case where the phase portrait is a spiral. So, what would spiral actually mean? That if you have the phase portrait, it would resemble something like this. So, if you have some point, say you had this point as the initial condition, and here you can see that x1 is 0. So with x1 equal to 0, x2 is something, we have an initial condition. Then if the trajectory goes something like this, so it spirals into the fixed point. Now you can see that the spiral can actually happen in two ways. Either it spirals clockwise, or from the same point x1 0, it can spiral anti-clockwise. So either the trajectory goes this way or this way. In both cases, it is a stable basically spiral. If instead the spiral goes away and do not converge to the fixed point, it's an unstable spiral. So, and we have seen when it's stable and when it's not, this is a counterclockwise spiral, and in both of these cases it is a stable spiral. I hope you can understand when would it be unstable. So for example, if starting from here, it spirals outward, then it is an unstable one. Instead of coming to the fixed point, it is diverging. So this is an unstable clockwise spiral, and similarly the counterclockwise one. So how to determine whether a spiral is clockwise or counterclockwise? Let us look at an example so that we can carefully see that. So let us have, so when we are dealing with a spiral phase portrait, when we have complex conjugate eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So suppose this is a system. I am giving the system in detail, and because I am providing the solution, you should be able to solve these as an example in detail. So if you solve this, you are going to come up with eigenvalues that are complex conjugates. So -1 by 2 plus iota, and the other one obviously is going to be the lambda conjugate. And the eigenvector would be, if you find the eigenvector for this case, it is 1 iota, and the other one would be this V conjugate. By V conjugate, we mean it would be 1 minus iota. So you see the real part of the eigenvalues, both of them is negative. So we are going to deal with, because the real part of lambda is less than 0, so we are dealing with a stable spiral. Whether it is clockwise or not, counterclockwise, is requires some understanding of what a derivative actually is. So the solution in this case would be equal to, if you remember, we covered the solution when we are dealing with complex conjugate eigenvalues and eigenvectors. What we do is, because these equations come from real systems, and in real systems we cannot have iota in the solution. So in order to do away with this iota, we take the we basically take the complex quantities and add them to similar quantities and divide by 2 to get the real part, and subtract each other and divide by 2 iota to get the imaginary part, and then use the principle of superposition. So remember this golden rule: whenever you deal with complex conjugate eigenvalues and or eigenvectors, use principle of superposition. That is, add them together to get rid of the imaginary part, or subtract one from the conjugate and to get rid of the real part and take the imaginary value. In both the cases, you can use the constants, divide by 2 to get the real part and divide by 2 iota to get the imaginary part without the iota. And we have seen this in the example that we covered in week 14. So here, when you do this, basically this part, the real part, comes up to be, because we have two values of lambda, both have minus half in it. So basically e raised power minus half t would be a common thing that is coming out of the whole equation, whatever is inside it, and then a constant based on initial conditions, and then a vector when we were dealing with the real parts of the superposition. We got cos t, and we will get cos t and minus sine t here, and plus some initial value and sine t cos t here. So basically this tells, this part only indicates that the solution is circular. The relation between x2 and x1 is circular, but the inclusion of this part, which is a decaying exponent, makes this, when we add these two, what do we get? Is a spiral. So if this part would not have been there and you draw this phase portrait, it would be circular. So it is telling that it stays there for whatever the condition you begin with. You stay basically at the same distance from the origin. It's a circle. But because of this decaying exponent, the value you start with basically decreases with time and ultimately ends up in becoming 0. And if this exponent is a growing exponent, it will spiral outward. I hope you understand this sense as well. So how to know if this spiral is clockwise or counterclockwise? So let us look at this case and see what kind the spiral would be. So in drawing the phase portrait, the smart part that we do is we assume the initial condition to be here, where we assume x1 is 0. Now from this equation you can see, if x1 is 0, then the derivative of x1 is equal to x2. So the derivative of x1 is equal to x2. And what is x2? x2 is this value. It is not 0, it is some positive value. So because the derivative of x1 is not 0, is positive, that is, the derivative of x1 is positive, it means, so let me draw a function of time for you to understand. So if we are plotting x1 against time, and at t equal to 0 it is 0, let us assume this, x1 at 0 is 0, but x1 derivative at 0 is not 0, is positive. It means the slope is positive. it means the function is going to move this way, and x1 will increase, become a positive value. So to x1, for x1 to become positive value, it has to move this way. So when this spirals in this direction, so this basically indicates the spiral is in the clockwise direction. I hope I am able to explain. And if you now complete and because we have taken this from this equation, so basically this clockwise spiral is a phase portrait for this case, and it's sufficient to draw it like this. But if we wish to have more trajectories, so you can see that starting from any point other than this, it will still spiral and ultimately vanish into this. So basically all the points will spiral and end in it, and that is what the spiral means. And the trajectory always goes in the direction that it becomes it converges to the fixed point, hence a stable spiral. So the example for this case is, you should try to sketch a phase portrait for the following system of equation, where x1 dash is equal to x1 plus x2 and x2 dash is equal to minus x1 plus x2. So if you are able to do this, then bingo, you have basically understood the concept. And if I am a judge, the underlying concept is not very difficult. And if you can understand what I have taught and then do a single problem, that's it. You don't need to be cramming a lot of things in order to understand the concepts, because as you know, I would not like to give the difficult things or the formulas in the exam as well. For you not to cram anything, you should just be able to demonstrate the mathematical abilities that you have developed in learning in this course. In the next video, we are going to look at a practical example and an application of the use of the methods that we have developed for the solution of a system of linear differential equations. And we would not only look at an example, and we would try to look at an example that we can really understand and attribute our understanding to whatever is happening in the real life. Although the example would be a little complicated for us to comprehend without looking at some animation, but I would try to provide the animation as a video as well.